What will we do with this moment? How will we be remembered? Look at the opportunities before us.
This election really isn't about the left versus the right. It's about we, the people, choosing our government and the choice between freedom versus tyranny.
Nobody has a chronic disease burden like we have. Why are we allowing this to happen to our children? Ultimately, the only thing that will save our country is if we choose to love our kids more than we hate each other.
What is going on here is deeper than politics. It is deeply spiritual. We are being called to rise above the hatred and the fear and the evil.
We need to remember above and beyond that we must love our neighbors, that we must treat other people as we hope to be treated.
You want to be a rebel? You want to be a hippie? You want to stick it to the man? Show up on your college campus and try calling yourself a conservative.
America is going to reach heights that it has never seen before. The future is going to be amazing!
Do you want healthy children? Don't you want a president that's going to make America healthy again?
Come to you today as a former Democrat. I will be a first-time Trump voter tonight.
The people dreamed this country, and it's the people who are making America great again.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
As far as the mood and how everything is shaping out, I've been really surprised. You know, I've been taking stock a lot. I'm meeting with like top Biden officials in the last couple of weeks since the election to talk to them about how they're feeling as well. I mean, my full-time job is covering the Trump transition at the moment, but you know, certainly haven't lost touch with the Biden officials. You know, just the kind of establishment Democrats that are here in town who hold very senior roles. And I've been pretty surprised at the muted panic among Democrats here in DC. I think the sense is we survived 4 years of Trump. We're going to survive another 4. Just hold your nose and let's get through this. And there is definitely that belief, certainly a little bit less panic than what we saw in 2016, where he had no track record and people believed that you know, that doomsday was upon us essentially if they did not support Trump. Now, there is a flip side to that in that as he has been naming his nominees for different cabinet positions, and we're seeing sort of how his administration is going to take shape or potentially going to take shape. A lot of them are problematic and may not even make it to confirmation hearings. There is...
She hopes that it's problematic, and many of them may not make it through confirmation hearings. But that's, you know, being a liberal, that's what their hope is. That's what they really think might happen. They may think that they can, you know, delay some things, or Matt Gaetz, like, do some stuff to them so that they go away. I don't think so. You know what? You know why I feel that way. I feel like the recess appointments are definitely coming. This woman is a political writer for the Wall Street Journal. She calls herself a journalist, and she's talking to people in Washington about how they feel about Trump. I think she's talking to the wrong people, or she's talking to people who don't know any different than she does. Listen to her.
Some worry about certain agencies being weaponized. And that is not something to brush aside as that's not a minor issue, obviously. We're talking about key agencies like the Department of Justice, the FBI, even some of the financial arms of the country, the Pentagon even. And there is concern about that. What is more concerning to people is that he does come in with experience this time. And so what we are seeing this time around versus the last time is that he and his team have familiarized themselves with the levers of government in a way that they can then shape the government according to their will.
Of course. He now knows where the snakes are. That's basically what she said. I could have put a translation underneath because that's what they're concerned with. Oh, before he was a rookie, he didn't know how this place worked. He didn't know that it was full of scum. That the swamp was basically much deeper than what he thought it was. That's basically what she just said. And that's what the Democrats have hoped. But they're really worried now because this guy seems to be able to navigate himself around this crap. And he's bringing in loyalists, people who are actually going to help him navigate this stuff. Oh, shudder to think that he might be able to do some stuff because he's got the right people around him this time. I think you're going to really like this show today. I've got a whole bunch of stuff to show you. I mean, like a whole bunch. And then, of course, tonight with the nighttime show, we're going to talk more about the drone stuff going on in New Jersey. A lot of stuff happening. They may have found one. But we'll see if I can't get some clips of that. And then also tonight, we're going to talk to a crypto expert as well. So let's continue with this.
Look, I woke up today. Donald Trump's ringing the New York Stock Exchange bell. Mark Zuckerberg gave him $1 million. That he's on the cover of Time, and they're saying nice things. Pete Hegseth had a really good day yesterday. The FBI director resigned. I mean, I feel like I don't want to jinx what's like. There's something right now going. Okay, just keep going. That means Navy's going to win on Saturday. By the way, we're on a roll.
It's on a roll, Dan. How are Democrats?
Let me jump in there real quick while they're talking. He just mentioned something that, Navy's going to win on Saturday. This Saturday, actually, that would be tomorrow. Tomorrow is the Army-Navy game. And if you have some liberal friends, you may want to help them out. They're probably going to be freaking out. First of all, it's just so much testosterone is going to be around the game. You got the cadets of Army West Point and the midshipmen of Navy. Just one big stadium of testosterone. And yes, there are some female cadets and female midshipmen. But that's not really where the heads will explode. The heads are going to explode because up in their suite, up there in the stadium, will be Donald Trump in a suite. And joining him in that suite are going to be Pete Hegseth, which alone should make some liberal heads explode. And then, of course, J.D. Vance has announced he will be there. And J.D. Vance has invited a specific guest. If you guys haven't seen it, maybe you guys can go ahead and guess. But the guest of the vice president-elect, I'm just going to call him the vice president because there is none right now, so he's the vice president, will be none other than Daniel Penny. Daniel Penny is going to be in the suite with the Vice President, President Trump, and Pete Hegseth. I don't know if the first bro is going to be there. He just easily shows up to things unannounced, so I'm not really sure. But can you imagine what's going to happen tomorrow in terms of how liberals are going to react to the fact that Daniel Penny, who just got acquitted for this stupid charge by Alvin Bragg, is going to be up in the booth hobnobbing with Donald Trump and J.D. Vance and Pete Hegseth. Whew. Like I said in the thing here, they're going nuts. The Democrats and media still seem to be completely lost. And they're just throwing fuel on the fire.
Viewing the role he's on. I mean, he's dominating the transition. Biden has receded. The pardon thing is, I don't think, going to be a good news story for Joe Biden. How are Democrats grappling with this? And should they just sit back and watch, or should they try to muddy it up?
No, I think, as we talked about earlier in the week, I think it's humiliating and maddening that Donald Trump is basically the president right now. I mean, he is dominating coverage. He is being feted. I mean, look, to Sean's point, I think a lot of people in the Democratic Party and just kind of in the establishment in 2016 felt like he didn't really win. He lost the popular vote. You know, he won a handful of swing states by such small margins. The Russia allegations kind of quickly surfaced. Now it's like, he won. The party doesn't really know where to go. It doesn't have a leader right now stepping forward during this vacuum. I
don't know if this guy's been watching my show, but I've been pretty much telling you guys that. They're just out there, listless, floating around, nowhere to go, foundering in the rocks. The Democrat Party has no leadership. Nothing right now. You've heard me say it. I'll continue to say it. I don't believe that the Democrats are going to be a political force to be reckoned with for the near future. There's just nothing there. It's just an empty hole. When all the Democrats look in, there's nothing out there. Now, understand today that the funeral was held for Cori Bush and Jamal Bowman. Funeral figuratively. They all showed up in black as Cori Bush gave her last speech as she's been voted out, and Jamal Bowman, Mr. Fire Alarm, he's been voted out. There's just nothing good happening for the Democrats. Nothing. And when I say nothing, I actually mean nothing. And so it's just one win after another. You know, is this the right button?
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
They are going to get sick of hearing that. Over the next even 90 days, just prepare yourself. Put on one of those football collars so you don't get hit with the shock. It's going to be amazing. I mentioned J.D. Vance. I forgot to actually show it to you. This is the part that's really going to screw them up. Okay, so you see this person, Reese Gorman. I'm not sure who he is. He's a political reporter for NOTUS Sports. I'm not sure what Notice Sports is, but anyway. And he goes, Vice President-elect J.D. Vance has invited Daniel Penny to be his personal guest at the Army-Navy game this weekend. They will be joining President Trump in the suite. And then here's J.D. Vance. This is the part that's really going to have them all rocking. Daniel's a good guy. And New York's mob district attorney tried to ruin his life for having a backbone. I'm grateful he accepted my invitation and hope he's able to have fun and appreciate how much his fellow citizens admire his courage. Right now, I'm pretty sure Joy Reid is seeking psychiatric help after just reading that. After just looking at the vice president saying, Daniel's a good guy. The guys like him who she thinks are abject racists. The vice president is patting on the shoulder and said, well done. Now let's go party. It's glorious.
I think Trump's having a honeymoon, and, you know, good for him. Like, the man loves a good visual. The man understands optics. He understands the projection of strength. And, you know, good for him. And I think for the Democratic Party, there's not much you're going to do between now and January. Once he becomes president and everything's on his plate and world and domestic events just start happening, you'll have opportunities to get back on offense. But right now, like, there's a reason they call it a honeymoon.
It's a great day.
And so that guy you heard is a Democrat telling people, you got nothing to look forward to. It's a honeymoon. He's coming in. He's coming in with a lot of power. Get over yourselves. I got an email the other day from somebody, and I took this email to heart. Most of the emails, I check and just keep going. In fact, the guy who said I was wearing makeup in the commercial for Lear Capital, makeup, yeah. But he said, hey, listen, you know, it was a lady, and she said, you show a lot of these clips from the nutty news that none of us want to see or watch. Maybe back off those right now. And I thought to myself, and I talked to the wife, and, Midas and I had a little consultation. I was like, Midas, what do you think? You think we should back off these left nuts? I don't want to make fun of insanity that we see every night. And then I went, it's Christmas. It is Christmas. This is a joyous time, a time to be happy. And so for the foreseeable future, because they got nothing, I'm going to focus on mostly positive stuff. Because that's how my mind is right now. It's probably where your mind is right now. And we'll let them just simmer in their obscure insanity for the next couple weeks or so. We got 39 days to party. I mean, let's make this happen. Businessmen are doing the same thing.
Because the president's in obviously great spirits. And we're stepping into, I would say, the most pro-growth, pro-business, pro-American administration I've perhaps seen in my adult lifetime, certainly.
The president mentioned the word incentive and incentive theory. Upstairs, downstairs, how would you characterize corporate America's appetite for responding to those incentives? Ebullience.
Yeah, so we just had a nice little ceremony, and CEOs of a broad array of big American companies, and I was.
In case you guys don't know, this is Bill Ackman, billionaire hedge fund manager. He and Bill Sachs and a couple other big name guys, just like Elon. They ain't got as much money as Elon, but they got the big bucks, and they're all behind Trump.
Everyone is incredibly enthusiastic, really about a new administration that's about efficiency, removing the impediments to growth, deregulation. I think a lot of confidence that comes from that.
Yeah, Bill. I hear that as well. Of course, the investment community, though, the things that seem to concern some people are the unknowns, tariffs and deportations. Do you share that at least concern, or what is your sense as to how that's going to go? The impact on inflation, obviously, is a key component, potentially, if both are quite deep and severe.
Sure. So, look, I think with respect to immigration, the president's very focused on the safety of the American people and having an open border, not vetting people coming in, having criminals into the country. I think that's the number one priority, and that is actually pro-economy move. If you get rid of people who are causing harm.
That's 100,000 people, not 11 million, potentially.
Fortunately, I think it's more than that, but that's a priority. I think the overarching theme is President Trump will do nothing that interferes with the success of the country, the success of the economy. That's absolutely his number. Other than our national defense, that's his number one issue. So I think he's going to be very thoughtful about tariffs.
You do?
I think it's a very powerful tool that can be used to level the playing field. I think that's what he wants. He wants a level playing field for the country.
In this country, for some reason, success has become a bad word. There are many people, especially on the left, but there's also people on the right. There are even are people who are Trump supporters who are, I don't know, I won't say they're anti-capitalist, because I don't think you can be on the right and be anti-capitalist, but they have an issue with people making billions. And I have always been, even as a black guy, when they say you shouldn't even ascribe to this stuff, I have always believed in the so-called trickle-down economy. Maybe it's and lately maybe it's because I worked a couple years side by side with a billionaire, and then getting to see how he lived, how he worked, the moves he made. I learned more in about a 2-year period than anything I had ever learned my entire life. And I learned so much just getting on his private plane and flying to different meetings. Because when you're on that private plane, besides the fact it's like, oh my God, I'm on a private jet. Besides that, it's the fact that period of time I had with him was basically not people coming in and wanting to hear him at a meeting. It was undivided attention. Yeah, he would get a phone call here or there, but for the most part, while you're traveling, I got to talk to him. And I didn't go as far as saying, the Chris Gardner thing about, what do you do and how do you do it? Because I know him and I know how he made his money. What interests me, and if you ever get the chance to talk to people who have a lot of money, not wealthy, is I understand you had an advertising agency, you developed it, and you made a whole bunch of money. A lot of people make a whole lot of money in their day job or profession. What I asked him was, how did you multiply it? What did you do once you had a nest egg and you began to say, okay, I've got this much money. Now I want them to have friends, and I want them to grow. And that's something they don't teach people in school. Not in high school, not in college. That's a life-learned experience. And so when I watch guys like Bill Ackman talk, and they're sitting on a trading floor and smiles on their face, I know he's thinking, I'm going to make even more money. When you see Elon and what he's doing, and he's parking rockets and everything else, understand he has Tesla. He's got the rockets. He's got Starlink. He's got all these different things. He has X. And people are like, oh, X is going to be bankrupt. Remember when he bought it, they were saying, oh, it's going to make no money. He doesn't care. He had a vision and said, here's what I'm going to do. Right now, people are saying it's worth zero, basically. But I know I put my chips in here. I'm going to build it because I have a vision. And so I'm not going to get into a big financial discussion right now, other than to say, open your eyes and have vision. Doesn't matter where you are, what your financial situation is right now. If you talk to the right people and you listen and look at what they're doing, you're going to see there's going to be a tremendous amount of opportunity over the next 4 years. A tremendous amount of opportunity. I can't tell you where you are, what that opportunity will be for you. But if you're seeing what's happening and you're seeing the lay of the land and you're seeing that this guy is coming in and he's hell bent on fixing America. Many people have asked me, Barry, why are you so confident that the Democrats can't win? Because every single person, like Trump has said, remember what he said to people. I am going to treat you the same way I treat every MAGA supporter. And nobody understood what he meant. And I've told you what it meant. I don't care if you hate me, you're going to have cheaper gas. I don't care if you hate me, you're going to have cheaper foods and groceries. I don't care if you hate me, you're still going to pay less taxes. It's open to everybody. The Democrats were the ones who tried to tamp it down so people couldn't succeed. Now it's going to be on you. I don't know how to stress it enough. I was talking to a guy who is working with Grant Cardone, a big real estate guy down here, and he's riding around and saying, money is coming back into the market. I get calls from investors, Barry, let's get going. Money is coming back into the market. It's not my money. People call me up and saying, listen, I got 8-10 million to play with. Let's find something. I'm like, okay, let's go. I'm all about it. So I'm gonna, Robin's a real estate agent. Think about that. You can go get a real estate agent license. I don't know, probably for a couple $100. Go do that. Start making a plan. What you're gonna do in 2025, 2026. What's your project 2025? I'm telling you what my project 2025 is. I'm seeing what's gonna happen. And yes, I'm going to keep doing this YouTube stuff. I love it. I love you people. But I'm looking at 2 or 3 other things to get involved in as well. Again, it trickles down. You open the doors, people who want to make money and want to know how to profit, they're going to profit. And so now when I ride around, I'm like, look at that. I mean, literally, and I'll get back to my regularly scheduled program. If I went 3/4 of a mile to my north and half a mile to my south. Scout's honor. I'll take a picture when I start my ride around. right over there, literally a half a mile away, somebody bought a farm over there. It used to be an orange tree orchard, and they're putting up 600 homes. This way, they bought what used to be a giant nursery. Nursery, not in terms of kids, nursery in terms of growing pine trees and all that kind of stuff. And they're putting up 450 homes. So there's 1,000 homes being built literally within a mile of my house. Well, half mile either way. And then a grocery store is opening up about 300 yards away. And you can't help but pull up to the stoplight and go, oh man, there's money everywhere. You just need to know, what, or figure out for yourself what to do with it, because it's going to be, as it says in the beginning of this video and what I was saying, it's going to be amazing. Just understand that. It's going to be amazing. All right, so let's look at the next thing. So you've got these people who are beginning to freak out, completely freak out, because Trump's coming in with Kash Patel, and they're freaking out so much that they're not even making sense.
President-elect Trump says he is going to pardon January 6th rioters, we don't know which ones or how many, in the first hour after he is inaugurated. How do you feel about that?
I think that is a terrible idea. These are people who have been duly tried and convicted in a court of law of having assaulted police officers, swarms.
How many people were convicted for January 6th that were convicted for assaulting police officers? Just wondering.
Stormed into the Capitol, in many cases attempted directly, physically, and violently to interrupt the peaceful transfer of power.
Many cases, he said, these people tried to interrupt the peaceful transfer of power. Anybody get charged with that? I mean, you should be able to quote that, Chris. There were 1,000 people charged. Who got charged with trying to interfere with the peaceful transfer of power? And now we know for sure what happened. Oh, there's probably going to be more. But now we know that there were also, it was the Fedsurrection. It wasn't so much the insurrection, it was the Fedsurrection.
A few moments later. On the subject of pardons, there has been discussion about whether President Biden should issue some kind of preemptive pardons, maybe for people on the January 6th committee, maybe for other people who've gone sideways with people in the incoming Trump administration. Sarah Isker, who worked in Trump's first Justice Department, but apparently upset some people in current Trump world, she wrote an op-ed today in which she noted that Kash Patel, in one of his books, had listed her among people that should have some kind of action taken against them. She writes today, I'm on Mr. Patel's list. I don't want a pardon. I can't speak for anyone else on the list, but I would hope that none of them would want a pardon either. If we broke the law, we should be charged and convicted. If we didn't break the law, we should be willing to show that we need the trust and fairness of the justice system that so many of us, so that we trust the fairness and justice system that so many of us have defended. She also said that if she were to be prosecuted by the Trump administration, it would embarrass them somehow. How do you feel about President Biden issuing preemptive pardons?
Well, I'm pretty sure I can say he just said it. He just said that the people on the January 6th charges, they shouldn't get pardons from Trump. You just heard him. You literally just heard him say in the same interview, the people convicted with the Fedsurrection, they shouldn't get pardons. So why would you have to ask him twice? Because obviously pardons shouldn't be given out. Wait.
John, I respect the quote you just read from one of the folks on Kash Patel's enemies list. I'll just remind you that to be investigated by the FBI, prosecuted by a U.S. attorney, can cost a defendant hundreds of thousands of dollars, even millions of dollars, and can.
I pointed out to you before. I pointed it out to you before. That's what these people are terrified of. If I get charged, or if Kash Patel or Pam Bondi come after me and they charge me, it might cost me hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. To which I say, so? Chris, that's the reason why they need pardons? They need to protect their money? You didn't say that about Rudy. You didn't say that about a whole bunch of other people who got bankrupted. But you're saying these Democrats, no, it's going to cost them a whole lot of money. I don't care about their money. I hope it costs them their freedom. Notice they didn't say that. That wasn't the first thing. He didn't say, I'm really concerned that these people might end up in jail. Nope. They always tell you what they're really thinking. Oh, I don't really care if they go to jail. At least if you go to jail, you might keep your money. But if you get charged, you're going to blow all your money. Oh, next question. Hey, Chris? Yeah. Who are all these people with millions of dollars who are congressmen and, senators? Where'd they get these millions of... obviously there are some people who came to Congress with a lot of money. That's fine. They're successful. Hats off. But are these other people who it might cost hundreds and thousands or millions, as you said? Who are these people with all this money?
Be profoundly disruptive to their lives. I spoke to Senator Schiff this week on the floor, and he has made similar statements that he and I think Liz Cheney, former Congresswoman Liz Cheney, has also made this statement that they don't want to be pardoned because they've done nothing wrong. And I admire their determination to trust our legal system and to stand up to the bluster and the threats of Kash Patel and President-elect Trump. But I think part of why there is some consideration being given to proactive pardons is the cost and the disruption.
He said it again. He said it again. He didn't say, they're worried about prosecutions because they might go to jail. Nope. The cost. You might come after our money. That's what's most important to these people. That's why they need to be taken down. Maybe you need to feel what hurts you the most. You guys are telegraphing at this point. I hope Kash Patel has been watching some of my videos, or at least he's downloaded these things, because every single time they talk about prosecutions, they don't talk about going to jail. They don't talk about what may happen if they're found guilty. It's always, every single time, the very first thing that comes out of their mouth is, hey man, this might cost me my money. That tells you what they've been doing for the last 4 years. They've been salting away money. So if I'm Kash Patel and Pam Bondi, dude, drag this out as long as you possibly can. Make them become Rudy Giuliani, where they got to take a taxi home. Make it hurt where they're most worried. They're most worried about their pocketbooks. They don't care if they go to Rikers Island. If I go to Rikers Island and I'm rich, I'm going to be rich when I get out. Hit them where it hurts.
And frankly, the disrespect for the work of Congress that underlies a threat to try those who served on a committee of the House of Representatives.
So do you think it'd be a good idea for Biden to do it?
I think the president's got to weigh a lot of different factors. How seriously he believes Kash Patel, the nominee to be FBI director, and the other nominees to lead the Trump administration's law enforcement agencies, how seriously they are determined to go after their enemies list, and whether or not some of those who are on that list and who are reasonably, foreseeably going to be investigated want a pardon. If they talk through this issue and decide that there's no one who is seeking a pardon, that will lead them down one path. If there's others who are petitioning urgently for some relief, I think you should seriously consider it.
And Congressman, okay, so pardons are good then. I can't understand, Chris. That was in the same interview. Hey, what do you think about Trump giving out these pardons to the January 6ers? Oh, it's horrible. These people don't deserve crap. Let them rot. They stormed the Capitol. This is, our sanctuary. They should be thrown in and have the key tossed out and never to see the light of day. Well, what about, the Trump prosecutions? Oh, no, we can't do that. We might lose money. Oh, Biden has to protect these people. They might lose money. And I'm thinking to myself, you guys who are Christians, you understand you can't serve two masters. It's either God and truth, or manna. I mean, mammon. You want money. That's all you care about. It came out your mouth. I'm not making it up. This is going to cost them money. What about these people who are in jail right now? Oh, no, they deserve it. But Biden should give strong consideration, but Trump should give no consideration. Like I said, I'm going to spend the next 39 days happy that I'm not these morons. Because these morons really, really, really know at this point they're in trouble. Speaking of one.
The White House is discussing preemptive pardons for people who may be targeted by Trump when he gets back in office. Do you want the president to offer some kind of pardon to you?
In case you guys don't know, this is not Benny Johnson. What the heck's this guy's name? He's the chairman of the January 6th committee. I think his name is Benny Johnson? I don't know what his name. Benny Johnson is a blogger. Who's this guy? I forget his name. But anyway, he's the chairman of the January 6th committee. The one who orchestrated the entire thing. And you can see by his face, he's a little concerned. That's not happy to see me. You're not smiling anymore, are you? No, Benny.
As strange as it is to ask that question, I'm just wondering what you think.
Well, you know, the president, it's his prerogative. If he offers it to me.
Benny Thompson. I'm sorry, that's what it was. I knew his name was Benny Thompson. So he yesterday it came out that he might want a pardon, and so Jim Acosta has him on television, which is in and of itself is kind of interesting. The word came out that he might, I'd be interested in a pardon. So now I guess the written word wasn't enough. We had to get him on television. Hopefully Biden or whoever's in control can see this. I need one.
Other members of the committee, I would accept it, but it's his choice. I think the staff of the committee, who did a wonderful job, I think the witnesses, who were primarily Republicans, did a great job under oath. We were not found to have perjured themselves or anything like that. There's nothing.
How can you say that if nobody looked into it? He said they weren't found to have perjured themselves. I'm pretty sure Cassidy Hutchinson perjured herself. Because none of you did any digging into anything, and you tossed out so much of the evidence, you have no idea who perjured themselves. You didn't even look.
In the record, that's not already on point. We've had 2 years of review by Republican chairpersons. They found nothing wrong. So there's nothing that we kept out of the record. There's nothing that we took.
Whoa. Even with nothing that we took out of the record. Big slip. He tried to cover it up right away. Here, let me see if I can rewind this. You can hear it. He realized he said something he shouldn't have said right there. Let's listen.
Out of the record, there's nothing that we took out of the record. So we stand by the work of the committee. Our committee did a wonderful job. We shared it with the public, and all the public has to do is to read the report that we filed based on our report.
Read the report. What have we seen, I don't know, in the last 24 hours that the FBI's report was full of crap? Oh, that's right, the January 6th report. The one that you were in charge of. We just found out that there's a report that said there were feds all over the place. That it indeed was a fedsurrection. And you, who were overseeing this, didn't know? That's why you're looking for a pardon. That's why you're on TV looking very stern with, what's his name? Jim Acosta. You're looking for a pardon because you understand at this point that Christopher Wray probably is going to get one. He bailed. He knew the report was coming out. And it's so coincidences, right? Coincidental. It's a coincidence that the very next day after the J6 report comes out, you're all over television looking for a pardon. Nah. As I've said many times, there are no coincidences. They knew what happened, and now they're in trouble. And then you get this idiot. He said this during the hearing when he was yelling at somebody else.
The only reason I know to ask for a pardon is because you think you've committed a crime. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Oh, you're going to have to yield a lot back. You're going to have to yield your cash. You're going to have to yield a whole bunch of stuff because that specifically describes you. You, Adam Kinzinger. You, Liz Cheney. You, Benny Thompson. And the rest of you. You are going to be looked at. And unfortunately, Chris, it's going to cost them a lot of money. Lawyer up. Go put in the retainer. Cut the 5-figure check. And wait for what's about to happen. Or go beg Joe for a pardon. A preemptive pardon. Which I don't think are going to stand. I've begun doing some research, and I don't think these so-called preemptive pardons are going to stick. You know, it sounded fishy when they started talking about it, and many people in the comment section were like, can you even do that? How do you pardon somebody for something that people don't even know about? That's because it has never been challenged. People have put out pardons, and again, we'll go over some pardons that Dementia Joe made recently tonight too, because now we're finding out who some of these people are. They're like, wow. But anyway, they know they're caught. They know in 39 days, probably the 40th day, they're going to start getting knocks on the door. I hope they get no-knock SWAT teams at their houses. I hope it's the same way. I hope you scare the heck out of your family. Armed guys with long guns and everything else the same way you did to everybody else. You put shackles on Pete Navarro. Well, Barry, we should look the other way. Not this. Not this. All of them need the same treatment. They need to have their bank account seized. They need to look for every single transaction. Make sure there's a line item for every single one. Make sure they paid their mortgage from the right account over the last 20 years. You know, everything you did with Donald Trump. Let's make sure your house is actually worth what you have a mortgage for. Oh no, we just figured out, we can go in and determine what a property's worth. You got a $600,000 mortgage? You couldn't possibly get a $600,000 mortgage on a $45,000 house. Well, my house isn't worth $45,000. It's worth like $700,000. We're going to determine your house is only worth $45,000. How do you like that? That's how it works, right? These people need everything they did to Trump happen to them. I know some people are like, we should look the other way and not feel that way about them. They're ready to confess and say they did the wrong thing. No deals. You took a shot at the man. You tried to get the man killed. Trump's coming and hell's coming with him. What was the movie? You should start praying. Them too. Fannie Willis and Nathan Wade. Yep, they're coming. Yep. Y'all gotta get ready. Start looking into the bank accounts. What did you do? You understand, once they start looking, it's not, hey, we're looking just at January 6th. That's just like, when you go to the doctor, you got a temperature. Well, what's causing the temperature? Oh, well, now we need to check everything else. It's not like, hey, you got a temperature and here's some Tylenol, you'll be okay in an hour. Like, no, hey. Now that you got that temperature, now we got to take the blood. And we got to analyze, what's in your blood and what may be causing that temperature. And then, God forbid, they tell you to bend over. You got to check up in there, too. You don't get the single vital sign check. You're going to get all the vital sign checks when they come in. And I'm hoping they get all of the vital sign checks. Your finances, your office, your businesses, all of it. I can't wait. I can't wait. You know why?
Breaking news into the Fanfare News.
I hit the wrong button. I meant to hit this one.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
Is retribution really bad? I mean, here's how I feel about retribution. Some people think, you know what, maybe we should look the other cheek. And I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel. I can look the other way and say, you know, like bygones be bygones. I will forgive you once you fess up. And you may say, I forgive them once they confess their sins. Yeah. But it's the law. The law that doesn't. You remember, you've seen the statue of justice, right? Yeah. She is blind and she's holding scales. It isn't me. It isn't you. It isn't Kash Patel. It isn't Trump. It isn't Bondi. It's the law. The law doesn't say follow the Ten Commandments. The law is if you broke it, you're in trouble. And I think when people use Saul Alinsky's rules and they try to use them against us because they know we're Christians and they know you're supposed to be this way or that way, but it's not us. I, Barry Cunningham, you, John Smith, you're not going after these people. Now, I'm not going to get too deep. We'll have a prayer meeting and have JJ come on. But it's not us. We live in a country that has defined laws. The people like Kash Patel and Pam Bondi, they're not going after their political opponents. They're going after people who broke the laws of the land. And the laws of the land do not have a forgiveness clause in it. There's nothing in the statute that say, hey, you rob a bank, but if you say you're sorry, you're all right. Nope, no such thing. If you do something with little kids, but then say, you know what, I was out of my mind, I'm sorry. Sorry's not one of the remedies. Sorry does not show up as one of the things you can do. In fact, let me tell you the definitive definition. Oh, I just repeated myself. Definitively what has to happen. You ready? For Kash Patel and Pam Bondi not to seek prosecution, not persecution, but prosecution for certain crimes, then they are doing a bad thing. They are not doing their jobs. They have to. If there's a crime, if there's evidence of a crime, which requires an investigation, if there's evidence of a crime, their job, the charge that they are being given by Donald Trump and the people of America, is get in there and do what you need to do to enforce the laws of the United States. And there's nothing in those laws that say, well, if they did it to you, don't do it to them. I want you to make sure you understand the difference between what we look at maybe and people are trying to put on us as personal retribution versus the laws of the country. There is no look the other way, turn the other cheek. You can't do it. I challenge you right now to walk up to any retail outlet, go in, hop the counter, get into the cash register, steal the money, wait till you get arrested and go, you know what, never mind. I didn't do it. I mean, I did it, but I'm sorry. Can you just turn the other cheek? You're a Christian, right? Just say, you know what, I understand you're sorry. Go home. I challenge you. Go do it. Go do it, and then let us all know tomorrow. Well, you probably won't be able to because you'll be in jail. Kelly lets them keep what they take. That's true, too. No mercy for them. None whatsoever. Lady Justice is blind, which means she can't see race, and she holds scales of legal justice. No deals. If you do the crime, you do the time. What you've been watching for the last couple of weeks or last month or so is nothing but a media psyop. You have to unplug and realize everything they're saying is to get you to feel sorry for these people who did some stuff. And, you know, you shouldn't seek retribution against your political opponents. I'm not seeking retribution against my political opponents. I'm seeking to enforce the law that these people may have broken, the laws of the United States. And there's nothing in those laws that says, oh, you ran against me? You did this to me? Don't worry about that. It's a lie. Yeah, mercy of the law. Only way to learn. Yeah, my husband was in law enforcement, and I worked in the DA's office, so I understand. Yeah, you can't say, oops. You're going to put me in jail for what? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Can I go home now? You're just doing it to me because you don't like me. No, you broke the law. Johnny Law called me that high noon. And the thing with it, these public servants violated their sacred oaths, tar and feathers. Yeah, for the people. What did somebody just put down here? I want to see that. Okay, here, somebody quoting the Bible. Romans 13:1-2. Obey the government, for God is the one who has put it there. I rest my case. That says it all, brother. That says it all. So let me show you somebody who's really, really worried about what's about to happen. This guy is so worried, and you're going to see definitively why this guy is particularly worried. Watch this.
A quick follow-up. I mean, you speak of political enemies of Donald Trump. You served, of course, as lead counsel in the first impeachment trial of Trump when he was in office the last time. Would you be considered a political enemy? Are you fearful that you could potentially be targeted or prosecuted?
Well, I've been on lists, enemies lists, and I guess that is a possibility. I welcome that possibility. I hope that they put their attention on me and not the good men and women who are career public servants in the federal government, who are just doing their jobs and who are really subject to retribution. I can happily and ably stand up for myself, and I have a megaphone here in Congress. I have the speech and debate clause. Defenses. So yes, if he's going to attack his enemies, please bring it on, Donald Trump.
Kash Patel's only qualification for this job is retribution and revenge. And so you see these interviews where Donald Trump is asked, are you going to direct your DOJ, your Attorney General or your FBI director to do this or to do that? And he says, no, I'm not going to direct them. He already has. And he's chosen people who know exactly what he wants. And he's chosen people who have repeated publicly that retribution and revenge. And so Kash Patel goes in there with very openly supporting retribution and revenge and weaponizing the FBI. And the one thing I will say about that is it's dangerous just to politicize and use it as a weapon, but it will undermine the entire criminal justice system, not just those cases, but every other case will now be considered in the realm of, is this political? Is it not? Is this to help Donald Trump's friends? Is this to hurt his enemies? That undermines the fabric of our system of law. And that is really what is so dangerous.
So this guy, Dan Goldman, went on show after show this morning talking about Kash Patel. He's horrible. He doesn't know what he's talking about and everything else. And are you worried about you getting in trouble? Oh yeah, he's worried. Let me show you why he's worried. Dan Goldman is worth $184 million. 184. Let me just say it again. $184 million. He's a congressman in the United States government, and he's worth $184 million. And here's some of his disclosed holdings down here, and there's just millions and millions of hedge fund dollars and everything else that this guy has. $184 million. Ooh, it would suck for someone to start digging into what you've been doing over the last, I don't know, we could go back 10, 12 years. But wow, Trump, they went back to when he purchased Mar-a-Lago. Can you imagine? $184 million. So why would this guy be so worried? If he didn't do anything wrong, and he didn't think there was going to be any prosecution coming towards him, why would he be so concerned? Well, because there is already a charge pending against him. You see, what he didn't say in either of those two interviews, where he never smiled once, was that Kash Patel already put forth charges against him. He doesn't even have to create new ones. He doesn't even have to investigate. Merrick Garland just chose not to go further. The file is already there on Dan Goldman. He didn't mention that on either of those two interviews. Oh, Kash Patel, why didn't you tell them there's an open file on you already?
Lay this out, Jan. As a former federal prosecutor, as a former national security prosecutor, the very fact that any individual is under investigation involving classified information, that investigation is by law classified. So, let's just play out Mr. Goldman's tweet. Either he's lying, which I believe he is, or he just disclosed, Representative Goldman, at the United States Congress, in a live setting before the world to see, just disclosed unlawfully classified information. Now the question is, how did he get that information? Who at the DOJ, if anyone, unlawfully and improperly gave it to him, or at the FBI? And so what I'm going to do, Jan, is we will be referring through my counsel, Representative Goldman, for investigation by the DOJ and FBI themselves for his possible leak of classified information.
So you following this? This Kash Patel wasn't in office. He figured out that you could basically do a criminal referral against somebody in Congress because of leaked information, and he sent a referral to Merrick Garland and said, here's a file on this guy, Dan Goldman. You need to look into this. The file is still sitting in the Department of Justice. Unfortunately for Dan Goldman, the statute of limitations has not run out. So Kash Patel coming in is walking into an active file in the Department of Justice on Dan Goldman. It was never dismissed. It never went away. Merrick Garland and Christopher Wray just ignored it. They didn't choose to prosecute. They chose to just let it go and look the other way. And so this video you're seeing right now, this is from a couple years ago when Kash Patel is telling people, hey, there's a file on Dan Goldman right now. It's crazy.
And since he's a member of the United States Congress, and though he may think he has the ability to lie at will from the United States Congress without any recourse, since he is a member of the House of Representatives, I will also be sending a letter and referring him for investigation by the House Ethics Committee for twofold. One, the same as DOJ and FBI. Did he disclose classified information? And here's the thing, Jan. When DOJ and FBI tells him there is no investigation on me, then the Ethics Committee can investigate the fact that he blatantly lied.
Okay, so now, in addition to the referral to the DOJ and FBI, he also sent a referral to the House Ethics, and nobody acted on it. So there are two open investigative criminal files on Dan Goldman that have just been sitting there because they wouldn't get acted upon. I hope you guys realize right now. So now, coming in January, Kash Patel will be in FBI, Pam Bondi will be Department of Justice, and they don't even have to really start new. All they got to do is look up what he already has. So if I'm Dan Goldman, I need Depends. I need to go pick up a couple boxes of Depends to figure out how am I going to get away from this. Well, my first thing is I'm going to run around and talk to the media and see if they'll, give me cover. There's no cover. There is nothing you can do. The files are open in the Department of Justice. They didn't go away. You are so screwed.
From the well of the United States Congress to the world about me and attacked me. And I believe if he wasn't hiding behind the same thing Adam Schiff has hidden behind, which is a speech and debate clause, that is a defamatory statement that's actionable as by me as a...
Did you hear what he just said? If he's hiding behind the speech and debate clause, that was the first thing he mentioned in his interview on television. Well, I've got the speech and debate clause, and this guy's so screwed.
Private citizen against Mr. Goldman. But we will be making those referrals because we will not sit by and allow such egregious and unlawful and improper conduct by a member of the United States Congress.
Sometimes when I start digging and doing my research for shows, I'm sitting here cutting and looking at stuff and laughing. And Rob's like, "What are you laughing at?" I'm like, "I can't believe what I just found. I can't believe what I just stumbled on." And she's like, "You're just giddy in there." I'm like, "I'm giddy because none of this stuff is being talked about. For 4 years, it's been swept under the rug. Don't mention anything about Dan Goldman and his $185 million and what he's already being investigated for, that Merrick Garland and Christopher Wray just went, don't open that file. We're too busy. We're too busy putting grandmas in jail to look at this." And now on January 20th, that's just one. That's just one. I can't imagine. Poor Nancy Pelosi, she fell down, she broke her hip today. I don't want nobody having that. She's an old lady, she fell down, she broke her hip. That might keep her out of jail. Because once they just start looking, I can't even imagine how many ethics complaints. I wish there was a way we could find out how many ethics complaints are already pending against some of these people. Because if you knew that would just make you go, "Oh my gosh." So you're just telling me there's all these files, these complaints made against certain people already open that Merrick Garland and Christopher Wray just decided not to look at? Just close the file, don't even look at it. We're not even going to deal with it. Because you just heard one on Dan Goldman. You just heard there is a investigative criminal referral against Dan Goldman that has not exceeded its statute of limitations, that Kash Patel himself filed, so he knows it's there. You don't even have to look. He goes, I got the case number. I filed it. They gave me the case number. Let me just look and see what they did with it. Let me pull it up on a computer. Bam! I already know. It's my name. It's my case. Now I get to follow up on it with the full force of the federal government. So this guy wants a pardon.
Frickin' person associated with this criminal gang that are over there every night burning the midnight oil. Are they burning the midnight oil thinking, hey, how do we stay out of Syria? And how do we not make more obligations, have refugees everywhere? Are they working around the clock to figure out, hey, how do we make sure that app down there is not used and they can't get more tens of thousands of folks across this border that Trump and these guys are going to have to figure out? Are they thinking about how do we kind of calm things down, let Trump get in here on Ukraine? Are they doing anything on the debt and make sure, hey, Janet Yellen has a clean turnover with Besson and make sure that the way they've done this, like old Argentina, and do it short term and finance it short term and get the balance sheet of the country upside down, that it is a good changeover? No. What they're doing over there in the White House, and they say this, they're leaking it themselves. They're working on blanket preemptive pardons. Now, turn to your Constitution and look that one up. Oh, we can't find that. That's because it doesn't exist. Not even a concept anybody's ever heard of. A blanket preemptive pardon. They argue, Rudy, I was on his show, he argues Nixon got this. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a constitutional lawyer. I don't even think that was it. A blanket preemptive pardon for Milley and Fauci and Liz Cheney and shifty shift. Those are categories. Those are just verticals. They're just the head person in a vertical to go down.
It's going to be fun. It's really going to be fun. Somebody asked in the chat, did Nancy Pelosi really break her hip? Well, that's the story. It supposedly happened overseas in Luxembourg. So I'm not there. I didn't see her fall down. I don't know. But the story that's out there right now is that Nancy Pelosi in Luxembourg, over there someplace, fell down and she broke her hip. I don't know if that's true, but that's what they're telling us. The left never follows the Constitution. Nope. And so now people are going to try to figure out, is all this stuff that they're saying true? Stay away from the media. Too many bald heads out there. Oh, man, pardon is a vague subject. Popcorn time, Patriots. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Jude says, I have a copy of the Constitution. It's not in there. Nope, nah, it's not in there. Margaret says, there's no way she broke her hip. Maybe she won't come back. Who knows? Maybe she's like, I'm bedridden in Luxembourg. We'd have to find out if Luxembourg is one of those places without a extradition treaty. Pardon everyone. Case closed. Sorry, treason supersedes presidential pardon. This is a good question. What the F is Nancy doing in Luxembourg? Don't know. Nobody ever covered the fact that she was going. So it's crazy. So then I saw this, and again, I like seeing what Steve Bannon has to say. And so he went on Don Jr.'s podcast. And so now they're talking about what do the first 100 days, 30 days, what do those days look like?
Bannon War Room Minute One agenda for January 20th. Tom Holman told me to expect shock and awe, which I like. God knows we need it because it's been so bad for far too long. What do you think? What's the Bannon Minute One agenda?
I think it's Holman and Miller on everything we're dealing in 50 or 60 executive orders regarding that. I think it's also on the economy. I think it's.
By the way, not to go off topic here, I saw a videotape. Those of you who don't know, the woman who claimed that she was done in by the Duke lacrosse team. I don't know if you're old enough to remember that, where she said they all took turns with her. I'm trying to be delicate with the words. She finally came out 18 years later and said, I made it up. Completely made it up. Barry, why are you bringing this up? Because there was a guy who was a senior at Duke who was on Fox News talking to Bill O'Reilly 18 years ago, telling Bill O'Reilly that this woman was full of crap and she had made it up and it never happened and blah, blah, blah. And that guy, who actually used to have hair back then, was Stephen Miller. I'm sitting here watching this and going, oh my gosh, man, this guy's been a fire starter way back in college. And I was looking at this old video with Bill O'Reilly and Stephen. I would have played it, but it's got the words that the people here don't like, so I couldn't play it. But I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that's Stephen Miller talking to Bill O'Reilly while he was a senior in high school.
You get spending freeze. You cap everything in executive order immediately, full stop. Besant, Navarro, all the National Economic Council, everybody coming together for the plan, working with the House on appropriations to get a budget for President Trump immediately. And then on the wars, quite frankly, I think it's you set up, you start. President Trump says, I want to sit down with people. Right, I'll go there if I have to. I'd rather have you come here to the White House. Also, in the deportations, I think he immediately calls for a summit either in Mar-a-Lago or down the Rio Grande Valley, where he has the frontline nations, Mexico, Latin America. President Trump is best. You think he's good on stage? He's best in the room. And what I think in the first 100 days, we all think he should be in the room with the key decision makers in the Third World War to shut down the kinetic part right away. Also, the invasion of the southern border. That all to me should be in the first 48 hours. I'd also, since it's a Monday, I would, maybe the next day or the day after is call Congress back. He goes up there, he gives his inaugural address, and he goes back, he goes to Congress and gives that. The only thing I will say about the inaugural address, and this is a strong recommendation. Last time I think it would have been better if it did the whole thing. The speech this time, I think he starts and gives a traditional speech to the people and this huge crowd that's going to be there. I would strongly recommend halfway through, just pivot the podium and turn to the political class of Washington, right, with the people to his back, and he goes through bang, bang, bang. Here's exactly, I want to make sure you guys are looking at me when I walk through what I want to do. Bang, bang, bang. The crowd immediately supports him. He turns the podium back around, finishes the speech. He's put everybody on notice. There's no, as your father has a great saying I always love, no games, no game, right? So we just do the no games 100 days. We're going to hit it with muzzle velocity, and I think this country is going to be saved.
I love the way Steve did that because he's been involved in the, producing movies, and you can tell he's thought about it. Trump's talking to the audience, and then while he's talking to the audience and telling them what he wants to do, he pivots and turns back and looks at the people behind him in Congress and tells them what he's going to do. Unfortunately, Steve, you probably didn't realize it. Most of these nuts from the Democrats probably won't even attend. They won't go. They're open defiance. They're like, we're not going to go. So you'll just be talking to the Republicans anyway. But then again, a bunch of them need to get their acts together as well. But it's happening. It's definitely happening. I can see where this thing is going. And now I know they were scared. A lot of you guys were wondering, did she really fall down? I don't know. This was posted earlier about her fall. It says, breaking: Nancy Pelosi suffered a fall and potentially broke her hip while in Luxembourg, Germany. Earlier in her visit, a photo was shared, and she was gripping the hand of a congressman, appearing to need help to stand up. And there's the picture of her close up, and there's the picture of her over there. And she is holding on to that guy with a death grip right there. So I don't know if she was already hurt, but let's see what faces we see there. We see, there's Susan Collins, traitor. There's Graham from Florida. I don't think he's in office right now. I don't even know who these people are over in Luxembourg. Don't see many people that I recognize, but they're over there. And the story right now is that she did break her hip. Going to take a break, talk about Lear Capital, then we'll do the 10. If you see what's going on in the world right now and what may happen here in America, you may want to prepare and pay attention. You know that Lear Capital is a big supporter of this show. If you want to be protected in the event that things go off the wall, I advise you to look into buying gold and silver. We're all just one catastrophic event away from the value of the American dollar plunging. Do you know what's not plunging? Gold and silver. I'm telling you now, make sure that you have some form of your money invested in precious metals. Lear Capital will ship your gold or your silver coins directly to your house. It's not just a certificate. You can store them in your gun safe, or you can store them off-site in a 24-hour protected facility. It's totally up to you. But when things go crazy here or across the world, the value of the American dollar is going to decline. It's inevitable. And it might not even take a war. We may do it to ourselves. And I mean, if the Federal Reserve plays around with interest rates, the US dollar will likely decline in value as well. Meanwhile, you'll see gold and silver continue to rise in value. If you call Lear Capital, they will take the time to educate you and answer all of your questions about gold and silver. Just give them a call at 800-601-5430 or go to Learberry, that's me, Learberry.com, to download your free de-dollarization report. You should know that Lear Capital is an American company. If you call them today, you'll be speaking with people right here in the United States. Now is the time to take action. Call 800-601-5430 or go to Learberry.com. And when you call, ask them how you can get up to $15,000 in bonus gold with a qualifying purchase. There's absolutely no obligation to buy anything. Just free information on protecting your hard-earned dollars with gold and silver. When you think about it, you're actually not buying anything. You're simply going to be exchanging dollars for gold, moving currency. Give them a call today. Tell them Barry sent you.
Here's the big finish. 10 stories that you just gotta hear. Number 10.
Do you believe that gay people should be allowed to serve in the military?
Yes.
Can you just respond to the CNN report this morning? It was highlighting some of your previous comments. Saying
I don't feel the need to respond to CNN.
You are comfortable with gay people openly serving in the military.
Did you hear what I said there?
How embarrassing. Pete Hegseth is walking, and you want to reply to CNN. I don't talk to CNN. So you're not going to... You didn't hear what I said? How embarrassing.
Thank you.
Number 9.
The approach is going to be everybody toe the line. Everybody line up. We got you here, and if you want to survive, you better be good. Don't get on Santa's naughty list here.
This is Lisa Murkowski, and this is the woman a senator from Alaska, who's basically the head rhino at this point, who's more of a Democrat than she is a Republican, complaining about, what you have to do to make Trump happy.
Because we will primary you. I mean, we are seeing that play out in real time right now with the nominees. My friend Joni Ernst, who is probably one of the more conservative, principled Republican leaders in the Senate right now, is being hung out to dry for not being good enough. And you're going to get primaried. We're getting a little bit of a preview now of what it's going to mean to be allegiant to party. And I don't think that that's going to help us as a Republican Party, believe it or not.
Somebody should tap her on the shoulder and let her know this is no longer the Republican Party. I know it's hard for some of these people who have been in Congress for so long. I don't even know how long she's been there. But this is MAGA, baby. If you're not willing to get on this train, then step off. That's your only choice at this point. You're worried about Susan Collins being primaried. You're up there too. They're coming for you. A lot of people will donate to whoever your opponent is. If you don't get in line with the man who basically got a landslide mandate, if you don't see that this is what you need to do, then you need to go. There's no middle ground. I am so sick of these quote, Republicans who don't understand that this is no longer going to be accepted. This isn't 2020. This is 2024. He won the popular vote. He won the electoral college. He destroyed Kamala Harris. It isn't even up for debate. Either step in line or be prepared to take a whole bunch of arrows. Any of you. It's over. It's done. This is how it has to be. And I cannot believe that we're seeing Republicans pushing back against what Trump is trying to do. You should have never been involved on the Senate, because now you're being exposed just like a bunch of the other rhinos. You're not even a rhino. You are a Democrat. Again, another exhibit why I think he will be going with recess appointments. This woman did not sound like she had any regard for what Trump wants to do.
Number 8.
I have new reporting that Amazon, founded by the tech billionaire Jeff Bezos, is expected to donate $1 million toward Donald Trump's inauguration fund. This, as Bezos himself is expected to visit Trump in person in the coming days down in South Florida. And this is news that comes just one day after we learned that Meta, Facebook's parent company and founded by Mark Zuckerberg, also gave $1 million to Trump's fund. Both tech billionaires have their own histories with Donald Trump, but it appears that they are leaving all of that behind, maybe even taking a page out of Elon Musk's playbook. Of course, he himself spent over $250 million supporting Trump's campaign, catapulting himself directly into the president-elect's orbit. Now, with only 39 days to go until Trump is back in office, we are seeing the billionaires working to ingratiate themselves with him, as they are certainly top of mind for him.
And her little snide way, she was trying to take a shot at these guys because all of a sudden they're all going to Mar-a-Lago and looking to kiss the ring. Well, sweetie, the reason they're going to kiss the ring is because of the weight and power that Donald Trump will have. This whole Section 230, it definitely has Google, and it's going to have Meta. Excuse me. And I'm not really sure how it affects Bezos, maybe from the Washington Post. But obviously, you and your media cohorts have no idea about business. Number one, $1 million from Zuckerberg and $1 million from Bezos is like you going to Starbucks for a coffee. It means nothing. No, nobody is looking at that and saying, "Oh, they're looking to make a difference." Nope, doesn't. $1 million is nothing, and it's to the inauguration. What we want to see, because we don't believe anything that Zuckerberg or Bezos would even possibly say, and I'm pretty sure Trump and Elon and J.D. Vance, they don't believe anything these guys are going to say. The only thing that is going to matter, I am positive about this, the only thing that is going to matter to Trump is what these people do. I don't give a shit about your money. You got too much of it. You're not buying me. I can't be bought. Trump's not that guy. Thanks for helping out. Yeah, great. When you have billions, $1 million ain't a whole lot of money. And Trump knows that. Nice gesture. Thank you. That might have been the ante to get in the game. Those of you who play poker, you know what I mean. You got to pay an entry fee. That $1 million was just the entry fee. Now you got to perform. Now you got to show me you deserve to stay in the game. First thing, Mark, what are you going to do about all this censorship? First thing, Jeff, what are you going to do about all the censorship and how your people at the Washington Post have been covering anything to do with Republicans? People at Google, they went there yesterday. I didn't see any money changing hands or any discussion about it, but I'm sure the conversation was very similar. Yeah, how you doing? Yeah, thanks. What are you going to do? I find it interesting. I told you the other day, one of my videos, which I said nothing. It was one of the daytime 3 o'clock news videos. And I didn't say anything bad, but they dinged it. And I filed the appeal, and it took them 48 hours, 2 whole days, and they released the appeal, meaning that everything is okay. So you have to wonder, are people starting to get the word? Are they realizing, as we're only 38, 39 days away, that maybe we need to stop this crap? All the stuff that, hey, we lost. You guys backed the wrong horse, and now you gotta change. I don't know. I can't speak to that. But it was odd that that video that they basically reprimanded got released after I filed an appeal. Which means there's still a lot of stuff in the algorithm that's going against people on the right. Which means there's still a lot of employees probably there who are woke as hell, who can't wait to hit the button and deny you your ability to speak freely. They can't wait, so you're going to have to weed a lot of those people out before anyone is going to put any credence into Mark Zuckerberg showing up at Mar-a-Lago for a meeting, or Jeff Bezos showing up for dinner, or the guys from Google. Now you got to do something. You basically brought flowers. $1 million. That's what it is. You brought flowers, and here, Melania, here's $1 million associated with it. Means nothing. Now you got to show people it's coming from here. Fix it.
Number 7.
Well, what are you doing absolutely now? Not waiting until January the 20th. What's happening now? Apart from meeting with Adams and people like that.
Right now, I'm taking sanctuary cities to toll. I'm going around sanctuary cities hoping to meet with these people and say, this isn't going to be tolerated anymore. Enough migrant crime in this country, enough young girls been murdered, enough, I've got 250,000 Americans dead from fentanyl coming across the open border. We've got a 600% increase in sex trafficking. We got the record number of people on terrorist watch lists coming across, over 300. Under Trump, we got 13 in 4 years. So I'm saying enough sanctuary cities are not going to survive. President Trump's going to take action on them, hopefully remove federal funding if they don't come to the table.
Numbers.
If Tom Homan knocked on my door and I'm a mayor or governor of one of these sanctuary cities or states, I'd be really worried. This guy has been given, it seems, carte blanche by Trump to get out there and fix it. Do what you need to do. You have the power of the government behind you, which means you've got the money and you've got the force to get this done. Go do it. Shut it down. Do whatever you have to do. And what I've seen thus far, you're going to see a couple things here. He already, just like Trump, he already seems to be effective. Because the miracle flip by Eric Adams should tell you something.
Your deportation plan is going to start in a big way in Chicago. And you said the governor and the mayor can either help you or get out of the way. But you also said if he, meaning the mayor, if he impedes us, if he knowingly harbors or conceals an illegal alien, I will prosecute him. So you will not only go after the illegal migrants, you may go after some mayors who aren't helping.
If they step over that line, they can sit back and watch us, which I find incredible. You don't want to take public safety threats out of your community and help us. But there are laws on the books that we will prosecute. It's 18 U.S.C. 111, impeding a federal law enforcement officer is a felony. Title 8 United States Code 1324 III. If you know it.
The guy knows the laws off the top of his head. He's reciting the statute. You violate these, guess what? It allows me to take the Thor hammer and beat you over the head with it. Don't play with Tom Homan. He knows the law. You can get on the media and say, we're going to be a sanctuary city and everybody can come here. They're going to be fine and we're not going to cooperate. Yeah, you are. You won't have a choice. Because as soon as you tell this man, nah, I ain't doing it, bam, you're gone. Get in the back of the paddy wagon. Now you get to go with the new handcuffs. He's quoting you the law. If you are harboring these people, which I'm amazed that he's letting them know in advance. If you are harboring these people, you indeed are also breaking the law. And if you're breaking the law, you're going to basically be, first in line. So decide what you want to do. You want to, protect the country, or you want to protect these yahoos who shouldn't be here. Because either way, the next thing out of your mouth would be yes or no. And if it's no, we're taking you away. So say goodbye to your wife and family. You talk about family separations, you're about to be separated from your family, whether you like it or not.
Conceal or harbor an illegal alien from ICE. That is a felony. When I was an agent a long time ago, I've arrested U.S. citizens for harboring an alien in their home or place of employment.
Number 5.
Mayor Eric Adams has just had a sit-down with incoming border czar Tom Homan here in Manhattan.
Okay, notice what she just said. He just got done meeting with Tom Homan. Right? Okay, just remember that. He just got done meeting with him.
Let's listen in.
Answering your questions over and over again for you already have your preconceived notions and your distorted views on what I have articulated. We're going to protect the rights of immigrants in the city that are hardworking, giving back to the city in a real way. We're not going to be a safe haven for those who commit repeated violent crimes against innocent migrants, immigrants, and longstanding New Yorkers. That was my conversation today with the border czar to figure out how do we go after those individuals who are repeatedly committing crimes in our city. We're going to tell those who are here, who are law-abiding, to continue to utilize the services that are open to the city, the services that they have a right to utilize, educating their children, health care, public protection, and the things that we have long been proudful in doing so. But we will not be a safe haven for those who commit violent acts. We don't do it for those who are citizens, and we're not going to do it for those who are undocumented. We made terrible mistakes in the past by preventing to keep our city safe from those who are committed repeated acts of violence, particularly these dangerous gangs that we have witnessed in our city, and we're not going to continue in that direction. I'm going to answer a few questions, and then I am leaving, because it's not going to matter what I respond to anyway. You have your preconceived thoughts already.
Do I trust Eric Adams? No. In fact, it's not up to me to trust him. It's not up to you to trust him. It's up to what Tom Homan obviously said to him. And Tom Homan, which he has said publicly, stage one is we're going after the criminals. We'll come back for the ones who haven't been breaking the law, but we're coming after the criminals first. Let's get them out of here first. That's stage one. That's a priority. Other part of that conversation, he just said, I don't care what you people in the media have to say. You've got your preconceived notions. Your woke disease is over. That put him up a couple notches on my book. I was like, yeah, Eric Adams, we've seen what he's done, blah, 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 blah. But now he recognizes it. I need to clean this city up somehow. Tom Homan is telling me he'll do it at his expense. I'll help him. We're not going to play with these gangsters anymore. And I definitely ain't playing with y'all in the media. Right now, if you were a person who calls yourself a journalist, you're watching, you're being chopped. your significance is dropping very, very quickly. Nobody wants to have anything to do with you. You are gutter scum at this point. We all know you do have preconceived notions. You don't want to hear what this man has to say. Your wokeness won't even allow you to imagine what's about to happen in New York City. You can't do it. And so now your blue-haired reporter out there, you got to be freaking out. So you're going to cooperate with Tom Homan and have him come in and grab these people. Yes. And I don't care what you have to say about it. Not at all.
4. I don't think President Biden should do preemptive pardons either. Makes people look guilty, if you ask me. Biden should be pardoning all the non-.
Just to let you guys know who this is Charlemagne the God, little g. Charlemagne the God, who was all in for Kamala. Was basically, shucking and jiving on her behalf, doing anything to help her. And just like with Stephen A. Smith, who I've talked to you about many times, they've been had. The checks may have cleared, everything may be working, but they realize now, oh man, I have lost my credibility. Yeah, you have. And so now he's talking about the pardons.
Violent drug offenders in federal prison. He should be pardoning everybody in federal prison for nonviolent weed convictions, okay? He should be pardoning Marilyn Mosby. Those are the pardons he should be working on before he get his old ass up out of here.
And you don't think the preemptive, there's people that Trump are going to be attacking, right? You know there's people that went at Trump, that tried to get him locked up. You know he's going to go with them.
Yeah, but why would I be pardoning you if you don't have any crimes connected to you? Don't that make you look guilty? If I give you a preemptive pardon?
No, it means that we know who Trump is and we know what Trump's probably going to do.
That means, it could mean Trump knows something that we don't know. And that's why he's going after these people. I just don't understand why you would give somebody a preemptive pardon. It just feels like you saying, okay, I know this person is guilty of something and Trump may go after them.
Because he said for the last couple of years, he's going to be going at them.
Yeah, but I can't just go at you for no reason.
Donald Trump?
That's why he lost the black vote. The black vote knows. Black people know, hey, you just can't do this. You're not any better than we are. So you don't get no preemptive pardons. If you're watching closely, you are seeing the black votes go further towards Trump. The more stuff that Joe Biden does with this preemptive pardon BS is just chipping away more of the black vote. I'm confident in that.
I mean, it just seems strange to do preemptive pardons. If you ask me. But what do I know? I stay out of white people. I try to stay out of white people's business.
Number 3.
We have 500,000 children who had sponsors in this country that we can't find.
So some of you were wondering about Eric Adams. I saw in the chat, I don't trust Eric Adams. Something happened in the last, month or so with Trump winning. Something has happened. Because now he's hitting this third rail stuff. Yeah, I'm going to let Tom Homan come in and get these gangbangers. And now I want to talk to you about 500,000 kids. First time I have seen a Democrat politician acknowledge that 500,000 kids are missing.
We can't find them. We don't know if they're doing child labor. We don't know if they're doing sex crimes. We don't know if they're being exploited. 500,000 children. There's a level of hypocrisy that everyone that states they want to protect everyone but innocent individuals who are victims of crimes and children. I want to support and protect children and innocent people that are victims of crime. And those who don't understand that, it's not up to me to try to convince them. I know what my job is, my goal is, and I was clear of that while running and when I became mayor. Safety means everything to me. 500,000 children, we don't know where they are right now in this country.
So I want you to think about something. As I mentioned, I was in advertising. I consider myself to still be in advertising. But one of the funny things at this point that you have to wonder about is in advertising and in the media, New York City is the hub. LA is more for television shows and movies. New York City is basically the hub, the biggest media market in the country. Eric Adams on a podium in New York City, open to the media, just walked out there and said what you and I have been discussing for quite some time. 500,000 kids are missing. And he said it 3, maybe 4 times during that short clip. Just kept saying it. And yet, you will be hard-pressed to find any story on any of the media outlets, on any of the blogs, on any of the websites, on any of the television networks. Nobody will talk about what he just said in the biggest media market in the country. That should speak volumes to you. The mayor of Gotham City, the mayor of New York City, basically the second biggest megaphone in the country besides the president. 11 million people. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. He made it there, regardless what you speak of him. And he just told the New York press 500,000 kids are missing, and he might as well have been speaking in Boise, Idaho. Nobody will talk about it. What does that say to you? I mean, you're a young up-and-coming journalist in New York City. You're trying to make your name. Who has told these people, don't you ever talk about this? Don't print it. Don't show it. Don't do anything. Don't want to hear it. That speaks volumes to me. You won't hear it on Joy Reid. Joy Reid, many of these kids are black and Hispanic. You going to talk about these 500,000 kids? Nope. Over here, Scarborough, Joe Scarborough, Mika, you guys want to talk about these 500,000 kids? No? Oh, wow. Wonder why. Why are you, none of you will talk about it in the biggest media market in the country, if not one of the biggest media markets in the world. So you know there were international reporters there. Zippo. Don't want to talk about it. Now you know why the media is dying. Because obviously you can see it. From what I just said now, many of you can probably go ahead and Google it and Google. Yeah, right. They ain't going to show it. When they met with Trump, I know it's a big priority for him. He should probably have said to Mark Zuckerberg, should have said to Bezos and to the guys in Google, hey, stop suppressing this stuff. We need to help these kids. I know you're suppressing it. People have told me if they talk about it, their videos get zapped into the ether or they get banned off of Facebook, never to be heard from ever again because they mentioned what happened to 500,000 kids or what they think could happen. Why is this such a dark secret in America? And they will complain and they will call each and every one of us conspiracy theorists and all the different things because we bring it up. It's more conspicuous that you don't. Right now, every station in the world is talking about drones. Oh, the drones. If they wanted you dead, you'd already be dead. So chill. Something's going on. We don't know, but I think it's a distraction. I made up my mind. This is a distraction. There's nobody coming down saying, take me to your leader. They're out there doing something, maybe doing some war games. Who knows? But everybody's talking about that. Nobody. And you could begin tweeting people, hey, you got any information on these 500,000 kids? You won't even get a reply. It's not a conspiracy theory. The conspiracy theory is on them because they won't talk about it. And I'm so happy that Eric Adams, the mayor of the biggest city in the country, in the #1 media market in the country, said, I'm going to talk about it.
2.
She says, I don't know how it, meaning legacy media, recovers. I have a lot of suggestions for you, Leslie. Should we go over them? Like, maybe don't say the laptop can't be verified when it can. And then when your own organization verifies it, come out and do a mea culpa and admit that you embarrassed yourself. Maybe don't stealth edit the presidential candidate on the Democrats' side interview with 60 Minutes, your flagship program that you're an anchor of, without telling us. And then when it becomes a controversy, refuse to release the transcript because you're more interested in running cover for the Dems than you are in honest reporting. Maybe don't host a vice presidential debate where you fact check only one side, and then when your fact check gets fact checked by the vice presidential candidate on the Republican side, you cut his mic. Just a few thoughts off the top of my head on what you can do about it.
What she was referring to, I showed it the other day when Leslie Stahl and Peggy Noonan were talking about the death of media, traditional media. And they were just lamenting, like, what do we do? How do we fix this? And Megan just completely responded. And it ties into what I was just talking about Eric Adams. When you choose not to report on things, when you choose not to even acknowledge that these things are happening because it may damage somebody politically, then you are no longer viable as a media outlet. There should be no safeguards. If something is a story, if there's something out there, you should be able to discuss it. I should be able to discuss it. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how it's going to affect somebody politically. The problem is, at this point, everybody can see you don't touch the third rail because it could affect something negatively. Just like she said, you came out and tried to embarrass Trump and say that, oh, the laptop has been refuted, debunked, when you knew you were lying. Every single time he goes on a network, you guys try to do something where you're fact-checking something. Stop. You want to fix the media? Well, I think it's terminal. I think at this point they've already written the epitaph. Epitaph? Yeah. You're done. You're absolutely done. You're not going to be able to change. For so long, our media reporters have had such an allegiance to a political side, Democrats, they couldn't possibly now turn and actually begin reporting. I've mentioned this on this show many times about David Brinkley and Walter Cronkite, because back then there was no way to question what these guys were saying. Remember what his byline was. And that's the way it is. Okay, there's nothing else to talk about, right? That's it. That's it. That's the way it is. If you're too young, go look up an old Walter Cronkite episode. It's 30 minutes every night, 6 o'clock. And he would close it at, that's the way it is. There ain't nothing else for you to know. All right, so shut up, go to bed, eat your dinner, go to bed. And now you got a 24-hour news cycle, and you guys no longer report news, and then you fact check the fact checkers of the fact check, and you got fake websites and fake experts writing stupid letters and everything else, and it's all tainted because you're not talking about the actual story. We just watched it with Pete Hegseth. Unverified, no, they don't call them unverified, what? Anonymous sources. You wouldn't have done that years ago and brought that to somebody. You had to have some evidence. And now you're just wondering, how do we fix this? And I showed you the thing from Van Jones yesterday. And they're like, these YouTubers and Twitchers and Rumblers are kicking our butt. Yeah, because we will talk about stuff. We will, no matter if it's Republican or Democrat. Luckily, we have a bias. I will admit I'm biased. I am a Trump fan. I am a Trump supporter. But if something happened, I would report on it. I would talk about it with you guys and say, oh man, this doesn't look good. What should we do about it? I mean, SV just texted me right now. All right, so I'll talk about this tonight. But he texted me and says, Trump is scheduled for a deposition before Christmas in the defamation case against ABC News over Stephen Lapidopoulos' comments on the E. Jean Carroll lawsuit. So they're moving forward with that case against ABC News. Will ABC News talk about it? Nope. Ain't gonna happen. That's why your media is dead.
Number 1.
And I don't know if you heard the latest today, Laura, but Joe Biden is now hauling off the border wall that's been lying down for years, and he wants to auction it off starting at $5 a piece. Message to the White House right now. I will bid on all of that wall, and we will buy it in Texas, and we will give it to Donald Trump. So I'm going to find out first thing in the morning where we're going to take the bid. I've got $1 billion in my pocket to do it. I write the budget with Senator Joan Huffman. We have the money. We're going to have about $6 billion in our budget for border security.
Dan, don't drive up the cost. Don't drive up the cost. The first bid is only $5 a piece of the wall.
And I will go in and buy it all.
Yeah, but what does that tell you? Yeah, well, what does this tell you about the Biden people?
It tells you
they're essentially greenlighting. They want more people coming in. Yeah,
they're despicable in what they're doing to the American people.
So in case you don't know what he was talking about or who he was, that's Dan Patrick, the Lieutenant Governor of Texas. And the Biden administration decided they were going to do something sneaky and auction off all of the remaining border wall sections. The sections that they just let sit there for 4 years. Now that Trump's coming into office, they're going to auction it off to the highest bidder so Trump can't have it. Unfortunately for them, Texas has gotten it approved. They're like, hey, listen, here's $1 billion. Go buy it all. And so now there's an auction where Texas is going to be able to buy it or drive the price up where someone else is going to have to buy it. But in any event, now they've basically put Biden in checkmate. If you sell it and it's a legitimate auction, we're going to buy it. If you sell it and it's not a legitimate auction, then you're going to be in trouble. You can't put your thumb on the scales. And I'm sure there's going to be a deal from Trump that says, hey, listen, you guys bought all this steel. We will now buy it from you. That would have to be the legal way. Hey, listen, how much did you pay? $1 billion? All right, here's $1 billion plus $1. And now we just leave it there. You don't have to ship it anywhere. Let's run with it. That's how it's going to work. It's disgusting and insanity. Yes, it's been sitting there for 4 years. And a month before Trump gets back into office, now they want to sell it. You want to get rid of it. Unbelievable. Thank God for Texas. I heard they're kicking butt. They are building. Absolutely. Biden no longer has a functioning brain cell. I don't even know who's in charge. Hey Barry, I live close to Boise. I like Boise State. Love their football field, that blue football field. Let's see. It's already been paid for once, and now they're going to sell it. What they want to do is they want to try and sell it probably to somebody who's going to melt it down. But now, I'm so glad Texas jumped in there. Doesn't that steel belong to the taxpayers? Yep. And so does all that money they're sending to Zelensky, but they keep doing that too. They want to send the proceeds to Ukraine. I bet you're right. By the way, speaking of which, I'm sorry to be the one to bring it to you. Since you just mentioned that, I had posted about it earlier, but it's obvious at this point. They are making it quite obvious that they don't really care what's going on. Let me see if I can find it. Was Anthony Blinken? If you haven't seen this, make sure you're sitting because it's probably going to piss you off again. On their way out the door, how much money they've been shoveling over to Ukraine. Here it is right here. This was at 8 o'clock last night. Did you guys see this? Have you guys even put your eyes on that? Anyone tell you about it yet? The United States is providing an additional $500 million in weapons and equipment for Ukraine. The United States and more than 50 nations stand in support of Ukraine. That was at 8:18 p.m. last night. After all the money, I think it was $50 billion a couple days ago, and now another $500 million. They are trying to obviously just pillage this country. Just take as much money as they possibly can. How the hell do you just issue out a tweet, or rather a post, that says you're going to give $500 million more after just a couple days ago saying you're giving them $50 billion? Again, I want to focus on the positive. Somebody in the chat brought it up, so I had to talk about it. What about our self-defense? Good point. Good point there, especially with all these drones flying around. The Democrats have now become the party of warmongers. I don't even think they're warmongers. I think they're money mongers. I can't even imagine what people may hopefully find out once they start digging in and doing some counting here. It's horrible, but I'm not surprised. And be ready for it. There's going to be more. There's no doubt that they will probably continue to do more. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. They're selling us out, and we got nothing we can do about it. Hey, listen, go ahead if you want to join us over in the X group. I'm thinking by the 7:30 show tonight, we should have 12,000. We may be at 12,000 right now. I haven't checked, but we are right close to having 12,000 people in the free private group over on X. I'd love to see all the content you guys are putting out there. Thank you very much. And then also, if you'd like to win a hoodie tonight, go ahead and go there, fanfareshop.org, to register to win a free hoodie. And I'm looking at something SV sent me. What did he just send me? Looks like the boss has put something up. Hold on. This is what I was waiting for. All right, so go ahead and register. One of the reasons why I haven't said that the drones bother me is because I said to myself, I haven't heard Elon talk too much about it. I mean, Elon has pretty much been mum on it. And I haven't heard anything from Donald Trump on the drone stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, if anybody knows what's going on up in the sky, it would be Elon Musk. I mean, he's got satellites. He himself could basically zoom down and look at all kinds of stuff. And then he posted this, and I thought this was very interesting. I'm going to see if I can pull it up, because he's been posting a lot today. I'm trying to find it. Hold on. Give me a second. Let me pull it up. You know, he's got satellites and rockets and everything else that he shoots up there. And so you figure if anybody would know what's going on, it would be him. And because he hadn't been saying much, I'm thinking, well, maybe it's not that big of a deal. I can't find it. This is how prolific he is in terms of stuff that he posts all the time. Anyway, he kind of made fun of the drones. And I thought it was kind of tongue-in-cheek. Gosh. Okay, here it is. All right. This is what he posted last night. Everyone, please stop creating fake narratives for war and the government. And he's got the Ayatollah riding around on a spaceship or something. So he's making fun of it. So you got to understand, a guy who's got satellites all over the world is making fun of, what the heck's going on. And then I just got this one, SV just sent me. So Trump just posted. Finally, after all this time, Trump has posted. Here's what he said. Mystery drone sightings all over the country. Can this really be happening without our government's knowledge? I don't think so. Let the public know, and now. Otherwise, shoot them down. So, Trump has now weighed in on it. The incoming president has said, you better tell people what's going on. So, I'm pretty sure what he's doing there. I'm almost positive what he's doing there is letting whoever, whatever's happening, know when on the 21st, it's over. I am going to tell people what this was. He may tell them real soon. That may have been a warning. All right, I've let this crap go on long enough. You're playing all your space games and whatever you're doing over in New Jersey and other parts of the country. Stop it. It's done. Make it stop. Or that's how I'm reading into this. You guys may read it to a different way. But the fact that he says, the mystery drone sightings all over the country, can this really be happening without our government's knowledge? So when you ask that question, which he didn't put a question mark, can this really be happening without our government's knowledge? The answer to that question is no. An emphatic no. The government absolutely knows what's happening. Let the public know, and now. Otherwise, shoot them down. So I'm pretty sure he's ready to say and let people know, and I'm positive that Elon Musk knows what's going on. He has to. There's no way Rocket Man doesn't know exactly what's happening up there. The fact that neither of them seem to be too concerned and realize more it's a function of a screwed up government should give you a little bit of assurance and comfort. It's not aliens. It's not a threat. Otherwise, these guys would be all over it going, do something. They're making fun of our government right now. And they're letting people know. That's how I feel. You guys may read it otherwise. Maybe I'll look at some comments. And see what you guys say about this. Let's see what you say. Yes, I agree, Barry. Yeah, I mean, I've gone places with my wife, and if I say something or do something, I'll ask her, "You okay?" And she goes, "I looked at you, and you were okay. And if you're okay, I'm okay." And I think many of you have that same kind of symbiotic relationship with your wife or husband, where it's like, you freaking? No, I'm not freaking. Okay, we're good. And it's that simple. It's that quick. You okay? Yeah, I'm good. Okay. I mean, we got in a car accident and pretty much had that conversation. You good? I'm good. All right. And at that point, the very simple nod from her or nod from me lets that other person know it's good. We're good. Everything's going to be okay. I've had something stolen from me. You freaking? Nah, we're good. Go back and watch TV. Because you build up that credibility with your spouse, your parent, to the point where if they let you know and you trust them because they never let you down before, and they look you in the eye and go, we're good. It's okay. Okay, I'm going to go back and play some video games then, all right? That's how I feel. People are freaked out about drones. Wait till AI takes over. Woo, yeah, exactly. That's why we watch you. Now, I could be completely wrong. I'm just following that man. And he didn't say, call out the army and let's shoot up the satellites and do this and do that and hit the fourth infantry. He didn't say all that. He's like, just tell them what it is and quit messing around or shoot them down either way. And Elon's making memes. Elon is making memes. Rocket Man, the richest man in the world by far, is laughing at the drones. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to dinner after I get off the show here, and I ain't worried about it. I'll show you guys some stuff again today. But at this point, just seeing their reaction, that's enough for me. Biden's new pardon delivery system. Oh, that's funny. Let's see what. I'm in New York and they're in my state. I simply want to know who. Yeah, at this point, it's more curiosity than anything else. What the hell are y'all doing? Are you testing something? I had heard somebody said that it was classified, but it may have been that somebody had snuck in a dirty bomb and they were trying to sniff it. And I thought to myself, if somebody brought in a dirty bomb or something and was going to do something, and these guys have been flying around for 3 weeks and they can't find something, we're screwed. We're completely inept. And I'm not involved in the military, and I don't know anything about satellite imagery, but I'm pretty sure Elon Musk has got all kinds of stuff up there. And he's got government contracts. Huge government contracts. So if he's not concerned about it, or if they didn't, remember, this something to remember here. When the, what do you think, space station, and they had to go rescue the rest of the astronauts. They tried to send Boeing, and Boeing's like, yeah, we can't do it. And they called Elon. What, you want me to go get him? Yeah, we'll go get him. Just remember that. When they needed help to go get astronauts in the sky, for real people, go up there, get them, and bring them home. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, can you fire up Rocket B and go get those astronauts, please? And he did it. So you're telling me he couldn't figure out who these drones are? Yeah, right. Ain't buying it. So now I'm comfortable. The fact that they're making memes about it, and he's got guys from the Ayatollah sitting on a drone. Yeah, I'm good. I am so good that I can't wait for football tomorrow. So tomorrow, don't forget, Army-Navy game. If you guys don't get, let me see what time it comes on. Army-Navy game. See, television probably won't show it too much. But tomorrow at 3 p.m. is Army-Navy game. So I would probably tune in a little bit early, because I'm sure during the game they will, maybe CBS will try and show some stuff, but they may not. Let's see what time. 3 p.m. Where's the game being played? I'm trying to see. Where it is. It's it's going to be at Northwest Stadium in Landover, Michigan. Landover, Maryland. So it's right there by the Capitol. I never heard of that stadium. I thought they'd be playing in Baltimore. Northwest Stadium. What is this? Some small stadium? I'm not really sure what this is. Oh, it's a big stadium. Oh, it's where the Commanders / Redskins play. I knew it as FedEx Field, but it's now called Northwest Stadium. All right, so it's being played in D.C., Landover, Maryland, right there. Like I said, I always knew it as FedEx Field. It is now called Northwest Stadium. That is who the title sponsor is. So there's going to be 90,000 people there watching the game. And so somebody, I got to show that. Where did that go? Michael, you got me on that one. He goes, it's a halftime show featuring drones. Oh, think about that tomorrow. Yeah. What you just said so funny. Tomorrow, tune in at about 2:30, 2:45. You've got a stadium full of Navy midshipmen and a stadium full of Army cadets, and there's probably going to be a flyover with F-15s or whatever flying by in Washington, and a couple states away, we're worried about drones. I just want you to let that sink in for a second. If everything was like aliens and craziness and we don't even know what's flying around or who's doing it, so you're going to put 100,000 cadets and their families in this stadium, and then you're going to fly F-15s over. Yeah, don't worry about the drones anymore. Only worry about them falling out the sky, maybe falling on someone's house. I just happen to think about that. It would make me worried if somebody said, you know what, we need to cancel this game tomorrow. We don't know what's flying around in Jersey, which ain't that far from Washington. And one of these drones may fly into the stadium. And those of you who live up there, let's see, are the Jets home this week? I didn't even think about that. ESPN, let me just check that. Where are the Jets playing this week? Are Jets playing in the Meadowlands, which happens to be in Jersey? Let's see, schedule. Okay, hold on. Let me just get to the Jets. Miami or the Jets? Where's it? All right, New York Jets. This weekend, the Jets are playing It looks like they're playing at Jacksonville. So now let me check and see where the Giants are, because let's see if they're playing at home. New York Giants. If the Jets are away, the Giants are probably home. Yep. The Giants are playing this Sunday in, wait for it, Meadowlands, New Jersey. You know, right there in Jersey, right off the turnpike. There's going to be 100,000, well, I think they only sit like 80,000 people in the stadium watching the New York Giants get their butts whooped by the Baltimore Ravens. And the game's still on. At this point, I don't even know if I need to do the show on the drones tonight. Let it go. I just have to think about that. Let it go. The New York Giants are playing home in the Meadowlands in New Jersey, where all this stuff is happening. And a little ways down the road, the Army Navy is going on, and there's going to be a whole bunch of military people, including... oh, wait a second. All right. I just overlooked that. I mentioned that the midshipmen and the cadets, the president-elect and the vice president are going to be at the game, along with the future Secretary of Defense. Literally 100 miles away from Jersey. And we're worried about these drones. I hope you leave here, in the next few minutes and you'll say to yourself, damn, Barry, you're right. You just solved it. It's all BS. It's all BS. There is no way the president-elect, the Secret Service, would have him go into a football game in an open-air stadium, even though he's in a suite, if there were killer drones flying around. Yeah, I think we just solved it. I think we just solved it. And they wouldn't let the New York Giants play in Meadowlands. We just sat here and talked ourselves into the solution. It's all BS. Maybe it's Project Bluebeam. I don't know what it is, but I'll tell you what it isn't. We ain't got no alien invasion, and we don't have any foreign entities flying anything. It's our guys doing something. Period. Now, if you wake up tomorrow and the Jets game is canceled and the Army-Navy game is canceled, then you might have to worry about something. But as long as we keep saying, oh, Trump's going to be at the football game tomorrow, but what about the drones? Hey, Secret Service, yeah. Ask Dan Bongino. Go ahead. Hey, Dan, would they let him go to the football game if there was killer drones flying around? I mean, I know they ain't all that right now, but would they let President Trump and J.D. Vance both go to the football game while there's drones flying around? Nope. Okay, then we know we've been had. You know you're watching a movie. Carry on. You're welcome. We just figured we just solved the crisis. we have just solved it. I just realized there is no possible way that would be happening. I think you guys all understand. Tune in about 2:30 tomorrow and watch the F-15s fly by. And won't there be anybody in Jersey going, did F-15s just fly by the football game? Yeah. Well, if the F-15s are flying by the football game, how quick would it be for them to go from Washington and bank left and head to New Jersey? About 10 minutes. But they're not doing that, are they? They're heading back to the base. Eat your wings. Enjoy the game tomorrow. Oh, God. You're putting too much trust and faith in the Democratic government right now. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. You're missing it. I'm putting my faith in Trump. Because this guy's about to be president, and what you're thinking is he's too stupid. He's trusting the Secret Service. He's going to go hang out at this football game while there's killer drones going around. Then we should never have voted for this guy if he's that stupid. I'm just saying, what you just said, hey, I'm not putting my trust in them. I'm putting my trust in him and his team. That he woke up this morning and said, is it going to be safe for us to go to this football game? No problem. I'm good. I'm good. He probably called Elon. Hey, is this shit real? No? I can go to a football game? Sure, you're going to be fine. I might meet you there. All right. All right, so I think you're too comfortable, Barry. No, I think you're never mind. I'm not going to say it. those of you who know military and law enforcement, help some of these people out. I mean, seriously. Killer drones is a lot different than people hiding in the bushes or crawling across a roof. The killer drones people can actually see. Plus, it's daytime. That's right. The killer drones only come out at night. My bad. As long as they're out of the suite by like 6 o'clock, everything's good. It's a day game with the jets too, so it's only at night. Whew, wow. Let's talk about some super chats here. Ooh. Cassandra, could the drones be prepping for a halftime show coming up? Could be. Could be anything. Could the drones? Just another knucklehead. Please tip the drones for sure. Tipping. Oh, now I got to work hard and finish tonight's show because I was gonna talk about the drones. I ain't talking about them now. And everyone, don't forget to get the thumbs up button. Thank you, Ernest Walker. If we start shooting the drones down, someone's going to come forward. Those things are expensive. Dyslexic Tank. When they say 500 million sending out our old surplus weapons at a markup price, and they're lining their political pockets with the 500 million, just another way to launder money. Yep, you're absolutely right. Cassandra, again, of course they're going to sell. They need more dollars for Little Z, man. Man, what does this guy have on these people? Think about that. You know, what does he have on them? Jennifer Vincent, what about the children missing in the Maui fires? Yep, I don't even know how many that is. Don't even know. F. Joe Biden, real fast, bro. Look up how many kids are missing in 2024 on Google. You'll laugh at the answer. Hold on, he said it. How many kids are missing in 2024? I'm going to use that as a specific. See, you said something. Now we got to check it. Let's see what Google says the answer to that question is. 460. I get 460. So maybe my thing was different than yours. I got a big number, 460. Let's see what here. Ernest Walker again. Wow, 500,000 plus children. Dems need to go down for this. I completely agree. Oh, not just the Dems. Whoever. I don't care who it is. Either side, you need to go down. Tommy Radcliffe, 77 million of us knew what Trump wanted cash to do. They just don't get it. We wanted it. Dan Goldman, $184 million of us, we know we want justice. Absolutely. Kerry Lemon, Barry, could you pull up a stock price on VOA? I have a funny feeling it's about to go through the roof. I'm going to talk about that today, but it won't be a stock price because it's owned by the government, so it's not a public company. Leland Hopkins, thank you. And they're freaking about that already, too. Cassandra, again, millions brought to Trump is like bringing Melania flowers from Food Lion or Price Chopper. Yeah, that's definitely just for flowers. Kerry Lamont, great show, Barry. Pete needs to answer question with question. How did your affair affect your relationship with Lisa? Just saying. Yeah, I love that he told him. I ain't answering you people anymore. Tommy Radcliffe, it appears that I searched my mother-in-law's library. She left me that federal pardons must be for a specific crime with already existing court paperwork. Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do these preemptive pardons. Leland Hopkins, law, you broke it, you bought it. Yeah, I'm good with that. If you broke it, you bought it. Let me see here. Tommy again. Hey, Tommy. Where is it? Hello, everyone. Great show, Barry. Thank you. Hi, Donna. Donna says, just old farts playing Ring Around the Rosies. Bay Harbor Beauty. Bay Harbor. Charlie Kirk just posted on X that drones are Project Bluebeam. I reposted on X. What does that mean? Wonder if accurate news. I will cover Project Bluebeam tonight as long as they don't have a problem above. $5 from Brat Girl. We'll just keep winning as these folks keep going. Yeah. Project Bluebeam is I don't think it's third rail stuff. I should be okay. Kim Hansen fell down drunk, I bet. I don't know if anyone has any pictures or anything of Nancy going down, but think about it. That's her and Mitch both have gone down in the last couple of weeks. Benny Thompson is the one who tried to push a bill taking away Trump's Secret Service if he went to prison. Yeah, they really counted on that happening, that's for sure. Just another knucklehead. Retribution, punishment inflicted on someone is vengeance for wrong or criminal act. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Dems going crazy. Yeah, they're trying to. It's really weird. They're trying to convince people that it's retribution and it's a political opponent, but the only people they're talking to are the people who voted for Kamala, and it doesn't matter. You're not convincing anybody else, and there's no reason to continue to litigate that. It's over. You're not going to. So what? If you tell every nutty blue-haired Democrat it's political opponent stuff, it doesn't matter at this point. Cassandra, can I get a do-over? Merry Christmas, Barry and team. Merry Christmas to you. Very well. Dr. Ed Cow, thanks for telling me the truth and uncovering the endless scams and crimes. Man, when I dug into that, thank you, and when I dug into that Dan Goldman stuff, I was like, ooh, this guy's in big trouble. Big trouble. Viking King, just because I'm a believer doesn't mean I'm not throwing hands. Yeah, you bet you're... Wait. Let me hit you with that. Yeah. Ernest Walker, so 3,000 plus kids are still missing. 500,000. Dems are responsible. That's one reason why they're looking for a pardon. I can't even imagine what's going on there. Joy Kirkland, how many times do we forgive our brethren? 70 times. No, 70 times 7. Well, in my opinion, it's not 491. So I'm not about to forgive them. So they're at 490. You forgave at the office. F. Joe Biden, what was Samuel L. Jackson's line in Pulp Fiction? I can't say it on the air. You know. That's a good one. That's very good. Say it again. Say what again? Going by the last, Ernest, going by the last show that Barry did, there were 100 FBI instigators at the J6 rally. Wait till they start digging in on that. Just another knucklehead. They don't have to have lawyers. That's true. Lelouch lives. They don't. Biden pardons the guilty, Trump will pardon the innocent. Very well said. Very well said. Just another knucklehead. Let's see what they say when there are actual investigations and charges filed against them. Demons deserve to be prosecuted. And again, either side. I don't care who did it. If you did it, you should go. Just another knucklehead. There was no transfer of power scheduled until January 20th. Great point. Great point. Nobody showed up at the inauguration to do anything. You're absolutely right. Oh, very well. Chris Sippy, happy Friday, Uncle Barry. Thanks for another great week of shows. Thank you very, very much. Johanna Keberline. Sammy Hagar has an album song called VOA that references the Newsnet you're talking about. I'm going to show you a video that tonight Carrie Lake talks about what they're going to do with VOA. That's going to be amazing. Erwin, please, Mr. President, can't take anywhere too much winning. It's a great clip. I had to make sure I put that on a button so I could get to it because it is indeed a great clip. Let's see here. Erwin, again, thank you for all you do, brother. Love your shows. Thank you very much for watching. And T. Mallet, does anyone know about Project Bluebeam? I will go over Project Bluebeam tonight, so I'll have that for you guys. Carry the Army-Navy game on your channel. Unfortunately, I'd love to, but I used to do football before. I used to do the Miami Dolphins game. And what would happen is you would get shut down because CBS owns the rights to the football game and everything else, and they won't. But I'm going to tell you what we will be doing real soon. Lynn Goldmeyer, I agree, Barry. If Trump and Elon aren't showing any panic, no reason for us to. Randy had done a super chat yesterday. He said, I missed it. I apologize if I miss it. Sometimes I just don't see them. But of course, I thank you very much. Mountain Goddess, locked and loaded mountain folk that don't put up purple-haired people with attitudes or gang members. We love your show. I think Jason Aldean made a song about that. Dennis Pope, did the man that owns Facebook, Zuckerberg, donate $1 million for Trump for January 20th? Yes, for the inauguration, he donated $1 million, as well as, who was it? Jeff Bezos. Dave the Patriot, UAPs in Jersey have zero to do with the narrative. Iran, don't take the bait. Exactly. I agree. All right, everybody, thanks. I'm going to go walk the dog, get something to eat, kiss the wife, chill, and I'll see you back here at 7:30. Got a pretty good interview, excuse me, with a crypto expert. Talk to you guys. We'll talk about Project Bluebeam and VOA as well. Talk to you then.
Thank you.